The recession has put thousands of families in the state of Nebraska in a bad situation. Many of them are unable to afford critical services for their quality of life, including legal services. You know, there are certain situations you just have to have legal expertise to move forward in your life. That's why the Legal Aid of Nebraska organization could be an invaluable resource for you when you're in this kind of a crisis. I'm visiting with Dave Pantos with the Legal Aid of Nebraska here in the Omaha office. Dave, tell me what kinds of cases the Legal Aid of Nebraska services with your vast team of legal professionals.
Thanks, Lynn. Well, most of our cases come to us because someone is facing a legal tangle that is getting in the way of them moving on with their lives. It could be an unfair eviction, could be a domestic violence situation,
Okay.
or it could be a bankruptcy, and we step in to help them out.
Okay, fantastic. Now, which of these is the most common? Which are the most troublesome? Tell me a little bit about the nature of them, because I'm sure they're all very different, of course, and difficult to generalize. But tell us a little bit more about the scope and the complexity of these cases.
I think most people are facing some kind of problems with their domestic situation. A lot of folks call us because of a domestic dispute, and we get all sorts of calls about folks regarding child custody, child support, but also,
Well, like a family imploding and somebody's
Exactly.
getting angry with each other and
Yeah.
it's unlivable and so on. Is that what you're saying?
Exactly.
Okay.
And we can't handle all those cases, so we try to prioritize those that involve our client being a victim of domestic violence or spousal abuse. And we try to get in right away, get them a protection order, get them child custody, child support, so they can move on, get a job, get a new life.
Okay. And there are many other cases, and they all require a certain level of compassion and, of course, skill and capability. Tell me about how you choose your legal professionals and how you train them to handle this unique clientele.
Absolutely. All of our attorneys have two really important qualities. One, they're experts in representing low-income people with their legal needs. Two, they have a passion for our mission, which is providing high-quality legal services for those who have nowhere else to turn. They really care about our clients.
All right. They got heart and soul, in other words, is what I hear you saying. Now, when people come into the process, what's the most difficult thing for them insofar as steering their way through it or working with a legal professional? What crops up that can be troublesome or a blockage to a good outcome?
Absolutely. Well, I think a lot of people get frustrated and give up because of the time it takes to resolve their case, especially in these domestic matters. You really have to wait a long time. There's a lot of depositions, hearings, motions. People just throw up their hands and say, it's not worth going forward. And that's part of what our attorneys do, is to encourage them to stick with it and see it through, because our focus is on getting them the best result that they can get.
Okay. Now, the Legal Aid of Nebraska doesn't actually charge fees. Is that correct?
That's correct. All of our services are free to our clients. We get funding from other sources that help us provide free services, like federal government, state government, and private donors who support our mission.
Okay. Now, why wouldn't somebody who is in this kind of a dilemma take advantage readily of the services of Legal Aid of Nebraska? Why wouldn't they come here?
Well, largely because they think that they may not qualify for our services, that they're not poor enough. But frankly, about 1/6 of Nebraska's population is eligible for our services. That's almost 200,000 people.
Wow. Well, let's talk about your caseload. I know you do service a lot of people. Tell us a couple of those details.
Well, in 2010, Lynn, we represented or provided some kind of legal services to 10,700 people across Nebraska.
So it's like 1,000 a month or something like that?
Yeah, it's about 1,000 a month. And wow, there are all sorts of problems, again, ranging from unfair evictions, bankruptcies, lost jobs, lost welfare, medical issues, and again, domestic violence and spousal support.
Okay. Now, as we wrap up, tell us maybe an anecdote or something that's happened recently here at the Legal Aid of Nebraska, where kind of somebody came in, they were tentative, they were maybe distraught, and actually they enjoyed a successful resolution.
Absolutely. I want to focus on our work with the elderly. We get all sorts of calls from elderly people who have been taken advantage by some kind of scam. We had a client who called us from Grand Island, Nebraska, who was sold this expensive alarm system for her house. Now, this is Grand Island, Nebraska. No one needs an expensive alarm system there. So we were able to get that thing undone, and they gave her money back and even a bonus on top of that.
Wow. What a great example of both compassion and capability, the skill. Thank you so much, Dave Pantos with the Legal Aid of Nebraska. No matter what the problem or the situation that you're encountering, the difficulty is not too much for the Legal Aid of Nebraska organization across the entire state. There's 7 offices. There is hope. I'm here with Dave Pantos. Thank you for your compassion and your concern. We appreciate it so much.
Thank you.